reason we are here for a special edition of the 5 Rounds podcast is UFC bantamweight / flyweight, let's say, TJ Dillashaw, hoping to fight Demetrious Johnson in a couple of months here. TJ, thanks for joining us. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I guess good. Been training my butt off for I don't know what fight yet. I mean, or who or when, and kind of been all up in the air. I've been in training camp and kind of not in training camp and then back in training camp. So it's been a little bit of a roller coaster. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
As we all are. We all want to know what's going on. And just so everybody knows, you're in California right now. You're working with a new strength and conditioning coach. That's where you've been spending your time, is out in California. And, I mean, I could go on, and it would take a long time to sort of rehash everything. But in a nutshell, here's where we are right now. You were supposed to fight Cody Garbrandt at UFC 213 on July 8th. Cody injures his back. We don't know exactly when he's coming back. So you offer to fight Demetrious Johnson in August. Demetrious comes out and says, I'm not really interested in the fight. Dana White is saying, that's the fight I'm going to make. So we're getting conflicting reports here from the champion himself and Dana White. And then Demetrious comes out and he says a lot today. And we'll go through a lot of this different stuff. But as I understand it, you read his statement. I get your thoughts just to start off our conversation here. Is what did you think of his statement?
You know, there was a lot. You know, he covered a lot in his statement, and I understand where it's coming from with some of it. But you know, a lot of it was a slap in the face to me as well. You know, trying to say that I don't really deserve a title shot, which I think is complete bullcrap. You know, I don't think there's anybody in his weight class right now to push him. You know, I'm healthy. I'm in shape. I'm already in the process because Dana told me that's who I'm fighting and dropping the weight class. I'm waking up at 143 pounds right now in the morning. So that's a very, very reachable goal that I've been, you know, strictly being on a certain kind of workout schedule as well as a diet. And, you know, for him to just go in and kind of discredit my name and the things that I've accomplished to not be worthy of a title shot, kind of pissed me off a little bit, you know. And just kind of embarrassing to have him go there and call himself the GOAT, to be the greatest of all time, and turning down fights because he's scared to fight. You know, he can say whatever he wants to say about all his other issues he has and being bullied, which I don't understand how the greatest of all time gets bullied. But, you know, it just doesn't – it all comes down to him being scared of me beating him. You know, he knows that I'm a bad matchup for him and that it's a fight that he does not want.
He said in an interview today and in the statement itself that he agreed to fight Ray Borg on August 19th in Seattle. That was the fight that they were making when all of this happened with Garbrandt's back, and then you offered to drop down and fight him. He said, so I was already in negotiations to fight Ray Borg, you know, so I just don't think that fight should just necessarily fall apart. He says that he's angry with the UFC because of some contractual issues. They're telling him that they will not give him pay-per-view points. You know, in future fights, that he only gets one shot at pay-per-view points, and that is in his next fight, whoever that may be against. And he said that he's got some concerns about you making weight. That was a big one that definitely concerned you. It applies directly to you. He's like, how am I going to train for a fight in August for a guy who's never made 125 pounds? If he misses, and we all know that can happen in this sport, if he misses weight, then it's not a title fight anymore. I don't get a chance to break the record. They're telling me like, oh, well, then you could fight Ray Borg. And I'm saying, what? That's not a situation that you should put me in. I'm a dominant champion. I don't want to be in a situation where my opponent changes at the last second. What is your take on his concern about you making 125 pounds, a weight that you have not made so far in your professional career?
I'm going to make it, you know, and I have the utmost confidence. I know that I'm going to make it. I've never ever missed weight once in my entire life of my career, going from wrestling from 8 years old until on all of my professional career. If I agree to do something, I'm doing it. I'm a very dedicated athlete. And like I said, I'm already waking up at 143 pounds, you know. That's not big of a weight cut at all. I mean, I'm doing the right things. And, you know, I think it's just an easy excuse. Yes, I have not made the weight. That is a very true statement, you know. But, you know, I've had to take. I understand where he's coming from with the change of opponent as well. But I've been there. I've been in that place. I was supposed to fight Henan Barrow after I beat him the first time in a 5-round dominant fight. To have to fight him 8 weeks later after that, him missing weight, and me taking a fight on 24 hours notice because that's what this is all. This is the fight game. This kind of stuff happens, you know. And this is going to be the biggest hyped up fight he's going to get, and I feel like it's being overlooked too easily by himself. And really it's going to tarnish his name. I don't think he's going to be the greatest of all time, but by dodging these kind of fights.
One thing that he said in his statement is he's talking about speaking to the UFC matchmaker, Mick Maynard. And he's saying, okay, so we told Mick that Mick guarantees that TJ will make the weight. We told him that since it was guaranteed by TJ and the UFC was demanding and putting us in a bad circumstance, then it is fair that if TJ doesn't make the weight, the fight would be off and I would still get my guarantee plus TJ's guaranteed pay. So what he's saying is, if for some reason you were unable to make weight, he would get paid his show, his win. He would also get paid the money that you would be contracted for that fight. And apparently, he later said in an interview that the UFC didn't agree to that. What is your take on that? Are you so confident that you make the weight that it's like, yes, go ahead. Let's put in a stipulation in his contract 100%. That he'll make more money.
Yeah, put that in there. I'm not going to miss the weight. That's not something I have to be worried about at all. I mean, I've already got it down to a perfect science of what I'm going to be doing. Like I said, I'm a dedicated athlete. I'm going to do what's right. I'm going to cut the weight the right way. I've already started doing it, and the fight is so far out. The fight hasn't even been signed, and I'm already in the process of changing my body. So yeah, go ahead and put it in the contract because it's not going to mean anything because we are fighting. If this fight gets signed, I'm not going to miss weight.
TJ, getting back to the Demetrius issue. So on Monday when this was all developing, you made a little bit of a statement. You came out on Twitter and you said Minnie Mouse or Mighty Mouse, and then you said, don't be a You deleted that tweet and replaced it with a very similar tweet that removed the don't be a part. Now everybody saw this, TJ. You can't do something on the internet these days without people seeing it. So why did you delete the don't be a part?
Because I don't really want to be disrespectful to Demetrius Johnson. I do like him as a person. I like his wife. He's got a cute family. Like, he's a good guy. Demetrius Johnson is a good guy. And I'm very frustrated at the situation that I'm put in because I'm trying to get ready for a fight. And I keep wanting to fight. I've been wanting to fight Dominic Cruz since the day I lost. And then Uriah Faber got the fight. Then Cody got the fight. Now I'm trying to fight Cody. He's hurt. Now I'm trying to fight Demetrius. He won't fight me. So it's just some frustration coming out. I really didn't mean it as like a I guess with me it's like what I changed it to is like, don't be scared. To me it's like you're being a about it. Like, tell the truth. You're talking about how you don't want to fight me because of all these other reasons, but really you don't want to fight me because you're scared. But guess what, man? You're the greatest of all time. Put it out there. Like, this is going to be a historical event for you to try to break your record. Let's make this a real deal. Let's make it against an opponent that is going to sell some pay-per-views. It's going to be a big draw, and it's frustrating to see him just backpedaling from this. And really, I think in my eyes, it's embarrassing for the sport, for the greatest of all time to be avoiding the fight like the way he is.
Demetrius Johnson, to me, does not seem like somebody who'd be scared of a fight. You say that you believe that's what the reason behind this, that any excuse that he's making, any of the reasons that he's making is just at the end of the day because he does not want to fight you. Do you truly believe that really what this all boils down to is that he doesn't want to fight you? And if you do believe that, where do you think that comes from? Because we are talking about a guy who has successfully defended his title 10 times. So where do you think that this is coming from?
I think it's coming from the insecurity that he can't do what he does to everyone else. I think that my strength against Demetrius Johnson is that how strong I am everywhere. I can match his footwork. I can match his cardio. If I press the stand-up like some people have done on him, he won't be able to take me down and try to hold me down and wear me out. I'm not a guy that's going to get tired in the fight. I have just as good as athleticism as footwork as he does. I'm a smart fighter. Him and his coach are very smart, cerebral fighters, and I'm able to hang with that, and it's a fight that he knows that is going to be very, very tough for him. And and he's even told me to my face that he thought I won that Dominic Cruz fight when it all went down. He knows that I'm the best at that weight class, and it's just going to be a tough fight for him. And I can seriously make the weight. I can drop down, so it's a realistic thing. And once this becomes real, it's harder for him to fathom it. It was easy for him to talk about it when me and him were both champions, and we were supposed to fight in Montreal. I remember getting interviewed together, sitting right next to him, people asking if we'd ever fight each other. And him sitting there right there and saying, yeah, man, that would be something that would be amazing. But now all of a sudden he doesn't want to fight me because it's a realistic thing.
What do you make of some of the other comments that he's made? Maybe not even specifically to the fight with you, but you're a guy who's spoken about better rights for fighters. Fighters unifying. You stood up with George St. Pierre and Donald Cerrone and Tim Kennedy, Cain Velasquez, Bjorn Rebney during that whole announcement last year. What do you make about his comments just about some of the negotiations that he'd been with through Dana White, the tactics? He says, you said it right off the bat that you didn't know how the greatest of all time could get bullied. Dana White said, I guess he said, if you don't take this fight, we're completely eliminating the 125-pound division. What is your reaction just as a fighter to some of those things that Johnson brought up today?
I feel like him fighting me would be able to fix a lot of his problems, that he will get a pay-per-view cut, this is that he's actually gonna make the paychecks that he's earned. That he is, pound for pound best fighter in the world right now, and I think this is the fight to get him paid. I do agree with I don't sit here and agree with everything the UFC does. I've obviously stood up against him as well. I was very he wants to say that Dana's my buddy. I've been pissed off at Dana for the longest time because I've been trying to get a title fight that was warranted to me when he sat there and told me to my face that I beat Dominic Cruz. But then I didn't get an instant rematch, and then Uriah got it, Cody got it, and so I haven't been. It's not like me and Dana have been like all chummy boys hanging out. I understand where he's coming from with some of that stuff. What I think he's doing is digging himself a deeper hole, because this is a thing that will fix a lot of his problems. He will finally get a pay-per-view cut. If he starts building his name, say he comes out and for whatever reason, it's not going to happen, but say he comes out and beats me, that validates his name even more. His popularity, he will be that guy that can go and push for more. I think that this fight could fix a lot of the problems that he is talking about personally, maybe not within the company, but personally for himself and for his own issues and for his family.
Speaking of Dana,
did I answer that?
Yeah, that makes sense. And speaking of Dana White, how often are you talking to him about this fight? Obviously, it's something that you want. He seems to want it. He's told you to get ready for it. How often are you guys having conversations about it?
Well, we talked the day I found out Cody was going to Germany, and I was wondering why I wasn't going to the press conference, because I didn't find out I wasn't going to the press conference until I was heading to the airport to fly to the press conference. So I was thinking something was fishy, so I hit him up then. And then I think, 4 days later after Cody's injections, he told me that Cody wouldn't be fighting, and then that's when I brought it up. So I've been talking to him since then, and we've had multiple conversations now. I mean, I was even texting with him today after I read the comments of what was going on, saying that this is, I mean, in my mind, insanity that this fight wouldn't happen. I feel like Demetrius would be excited for a worthy opponent like this, and that it would sell tickets, and everyone's talking about it. It just it's kind of crazy.
At the end of the day,
I think Dana's frustration comes from is that Demetrius saying he's not getting promoted, which that is tough, but he finally has a chance. And I think Dana's frustration comes from that he hasn't been able to sell pay-per-view, and that is a fault on both. It's Demetrius, how safe he fights, as well as maybe not getting promoted enough. But the fact is, this could, once again, this could fix all the problems he's talking about.
So at the end of the day, do you think it happens?
Sorry, dude. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I've been getting less and less confident about it, but other than when I woke up and saw that Dana told Demetrius that he's the one that makes the choices, that made me more confident. But I don't know, Demetrius is sticking to his guns and being scared, so I really don't know. I mean, if he really is scared that bad, then no, it probably won't happen. But I really feel like it's going to hinder his legacy and who he is as a fighter by not taking this fight. If he doesn't step up, I think a lot of people are going to have to put an asterisk next to his record of being Anderson Silva's streak, as well as being called the greatest of all time. I really think it's a kind of a chicken shit move to bail out of this fight. And I'm not, and that all comes out of frustration. Once again, I like Demetrius Johnson as a person when I've hung out with him, but this is a very frustrating thing because he's the greatest of all time, and I want to fight him. It's just crazy. It won't go down in his mind.
I hesitate to even ask you this, but the only reason I will ask it is just because you have done it in the past. When you were trying to fight Dominic Cruz, you said, "I'll bet my entire purse I'll bet you $100,000, Cruz, that if you beat me, you can have it. That's how confident I am. So I'm wondering if his holdup is I want what TJ Dillashaw is making if he doesn't make weight. Would you ever offer to just pay that to him yourself? Like, if I miss weight, I will pay you what I'm scheduled to make. Would you ever consider that, or was that just a one-time offer to Dominic Cruz?
I will pay him personally if I miss weight. I'm not going to miss weight. That's how confident I am. There's no way I'm missing weight.
I mean, that's a pretty strong guarantee, obviously. And you said that you were, 143 right now?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, so it's not like you're walking around like 155, 160, something like that. So that's interesting, certainly, to monitor. I just want to get back real quick. Brett mentioned the bombshell that kind of came out that Dana threatened to end the division if Demetrius didn't take this fight. Did you hear that? What were your thoughts on that? And do you think that's just negotiation stuff, or is that something that you believe is possible?
Oh, that's just frustration. That's frustration coming out of Dana that he has a fight that's going to be able to be hyped up at the 25-pound division, and it's being shot down by the champion. So I think it just comes through frustration. I don't know if it's ever a realistic thing, if that could ever really happen. I think that it would catch a lot of flack, but I don't know. Dana's done a lot of crazy stuff. So don't piss the guy off, I guess. I mean, if you want to see if he's really going to do it,
See you Saturday.
Man, it's a weird spot to be in. I went on Twitter the other day and I said, what a weird spot for TJ to be in because he doesn't know if he should cut weight or not. And I had a lot of fans respond to me that says, cut weight? The fight's not until August. What are you talking about? He's got plenty of time to cut weight. It's like, no, to cut down 125 pounds, he's got to start right now. So I know that a lot of people would not envy the position that you're in. And I guess, what do you do? You just continue to cut weight, I guess? You continue to act as if the fight is happening? That is your strategy right now.
As long as I can, because I can't like go to stop cutting weight, then all of a sudden be told next week, the fight's on, and be like, crap, I just ruined everything I've already worked for the last couple of weeks. So as of now, I'm going to continue to stay dedicated to my diet and continue to manage my weight and continue to do this long process that it's going to have to be until I hear otherwise. And as soon as I hear otherwise, I'm going to need that time to put the size back on. As hard as it is to get it off, it's just as hard, if not harder, to put that dense weight back on. I've been doing it my entire career, so this is something I can't be going back and forth with, right? I can't be playing the roller coaster diet. It's got to be one or the other, and so right now I got to stick to it because that's the easier way, I guess, to go about it. Because if I go back up, there's no way. I'll be able to do it, but it won't be. Like right now, it's all about performance as well. Like I don't want to, like no matter what, I can make the weight, but it's all about how I'm going to feel the night I fight. And for me to feel the best that night, I need to start. I already have started now, and I have to continue it until I hear otherwise. And if I hear otherwise, then I need to figure out what that date's going to be so that I can put the weight back on.
Very last question for me, TJ, and again, thanks for the time, is there are some people out there, and I've gotten this on social media, that say, this fight never made sense anyway. Why does TJ get to move down in weight and jump the line? Ray Borg's there. So I just wanted you to address that. I'm sure you disagree with that, but why? Why do you have the right to jump in front of a guy like Ray Borg to fight Demetrius Johnson in August?
For one, my resume in general. So normally I wouldn't want to just like jump down in front of a bunch of number one contenders. If there was guys that were lined up that have been ready to get that belt and really are guys that are worthy against it. Not saying that Ray Borg's not a great fighter, but like someone like Joseph Benavidez has been on a very long win streak beating number one contenders. That's a guy that deserves a title shot. I know he's already lost to Demetrius Johnson, but he had a very close split decision and then he got caught. That's the guy that I would never jump. For one, he's my buddy, so I wouldn't jump in front of him. But two, he's the most deserving of the title shot. He's the guy really right now that is the number one contender, the one that really deserves to get a title shot against Demetrius Johnson. But he is out. He blew his knee out, so he's, there's no way he's fighting within the next year for a title. That's not realistic for him. And so, for me to jump down, I have the bigger resume. When's the last time Demetrius fought someone in the top 5 pound-for-pound rankings? That was Dominic Cruz, and he lost. So really, he doesn't have the resume and his contenders right now to push him for that record-breaking or even just a title fight in general. Ray Borg is on a 2-fight win streak against guys that aren't even in the top 10. You know, I was a number one contender up for a title shot for 135s, and I've beaten two number one contenders at my weight class and able to make 25s. To me, I think that's still a very, very great resume to be able to fight at 125s compared to what is down there right now.
Well, you certainly caused a lot of trouble here for the UFC, for Demetrious Johnson, by offering to drop down in weight. We've got a lot to talk about. But yeah, I guess we'll see. And I hope, what I'll say is that I hope you get an answer soon, because trying to jump back and forth between cutting down to 125 pounds and being a 135er can't be the most ideal circumstances. So I hope you get an answer soon.
That's pretty much what I hope for too, either, man. It's not about who I need to go to be right now. I mean, right now, first and foremost, I want a belt. I want my 135-pound belt. I want Demetrious Johnson's belt. I want something that's realistic for me to fight right now. I feel like that, I've worked my butt off, and I get paid more when I'm a champion. You know, when I lost my belt to a decision I don't agree with, I started getting paid less. This business isn't just only about being the best in the world, but it's also about getting paid and what is deserving for yourself. And for me, being champion is the way that I'm going to get paid the most, as well as get over my goal of being the ranked number one pound for pound list. And on that end, it's Demetrious Johnson there right now. And if I beat him, that's a huge statement. You know, as well as Cody Garbrandt is a fight that I would love to get in sooner rather than later. So I have a lot of opportunities, but yes, I do need a definite answer, and that would be great. So fingers crossed I find out what's going on here soon.
There he is. TJ Dillashaw, UFC bantamweight / maybe perhaps flyweight in August. We'll see what happens. But again, thank you for the time, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again either way very soon. Thanks again.
Of course. Thank you.